Wherever there's tension, the shoulders, arms, lather your body with fudge.
Yes, hot fudge and caramel.
Okay, now go like.
Wow.
Ready? Up high and low. You're drowning in water. So really relax. Now, and again. Okay, breathe in for 4 and out for 4, right? And breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. And out on shh. Shh. In one more time. Out for 8 on shh. Alright, let's go do something else. So, some butt trill. Keep the breath connected. Loosen everything up. Consonant, the ooh, is one of my favorites. I put too much intention in the voice, so don't do that. Right? Voice consonant. Ready and go. Good, sir. And go. Nice, I like the hand motion. Now make sure you have your space in the throat. Drop the jaw. Drowning in the water. Okay, how about some now let's do this. Last thing. Go. Bodies. Blend. And up. Keep the breath moving. Bouncing. Little H on it. And up. Separation. Clarity. Alright, is that good?
All right, let's go to music.
Yeah.
Awesome. sing bass. Dal, sing tenor.
Did David text you? Okay.
Yes,
He's like dying. All of my roommates are sick. I'm not sure to go to class. Really? How does he not get sick? Because he's like an engine. He drinks so much runs on coffee and 2 hours sleep at home.
Yeah. Being a Zelky is all about pushing the limit in the
That's not very healthy.
No.
I doesn't like when I say, David, you didn't want to go to bed.
I think I'm
Burnt
burnt
out
out
all the time.
Not sleeping, not eating well, not exercising.
Oh my
Coffee last night. Yeah.
Yeah, it was your fault.
All right, here we go.
The master plan.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take some time because nobody, I don't know if anybody's done this. This is the text. Rejoice, O Virgin Mother of God, Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. For thou hast borne the Savior of our souls. So this is really like a prayer, so just treat it like a soft prayer. Right?
If we were Catholic, what text would this be?
Oh yeah. Okay, which is one of those things.
All right, go to the most non-metrical spot in the whole piece and practice that.
I was gonna say 20.
Okay.
20. That's what I was gonna say, but I'm not sure if that's what you want.
Well, I want you to find the least metrical spot in the whole piece. Where is that? The spot in which steady beat,
Well,
which romantic rubato is of its most importance.
15, maybe something. Yeah, thinking 14, 15. That's
Okay.
another spot I'm gonna go to.
All right.
Yeah.
Show me what you want to get. Show us what you want to do there. Here we go. Say.
First chord on 14. Measure.
Yeah, and turn. I know there's no one in the center of the choir, but go ahead and focus this way since there's all these people over here, and or make them move. I hate to.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be outside the. Here's the
There you
rule of thumb, by the way, is go like this, and everybody has to be in front of you.
Oh.
Does that make sense? Yeah, and so there can't be like people behind that, and so that means if then you have to back up until, right? Sometimes you'll find like a high school director, they're sort of insistent on conducting
That's good.
in the middle. There's people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm never quite sure why they
This
do
is
it.
just the reality of this for everybody.
Yeah, it's not a great room. Yeah, but there's lots of things wrong with this building. It's okay.
Just gotta work around it.
Yeah.
First chord on measure 14.
14.
Oh, you want Apple?
Yeah.
So I didn't explain myself very well. So you took out the strong and weak beat. That was really good. So I want the spot that is least steady beat.
Alright. Let's see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which is also not.
Oh, yeah.
But it's true that it's a difference.
I think going into measure 7 is a good spot, and then there's also some, I think, tempo changes, rubato, and
Excellent.
in the measure 8, 9, 10.
I want us to
10.
I want us to explore the romantic phrase.
Okay. Let's start at measure. There's, let's see, like pickups to measure 7. Can we do that? Is that the beat 3 of measure 7, or 6? Sorry, beat 3 of measure 6. Right?
4.
Sorry, 4. Yeah. Ready?
Good. Do it again. Do more. So even when I watch our state's best high school choral directors, they invariably, when they're doing 19th century music, are uncomfortable with going as far as they should, making a statement. You know what I mean? I mean, this is our opportunity. I mean, you know, for once, we're following the tempo of the soul here, not the steady beat, not the metronome. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we should push it. We should search the text and the harmony and the melody for doing more. And this is why I encourage you to listen to the great romantic pianists of the early 20th century and the middle of the 20th century. Horowitz, even when Horowitz plays Scarlatti, it is just totally outside steady beat, right? Love it. And we are so in love with singing in time. Sing in the time of the phrase. Lose yourself in what happens there. That was a good start for a beginning.
Usually, I'm told that like back it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm always doing over the top, so I'm.
Oh, I don't mean your gesture over the top.
Oh, but like,
I mean your
right there.
interpretation.
I-
Yeah.
Same spot.
Same spot?
We tried from Blago.
Yeah, it is the beginning of the phrase, just the
Sure.
bar earlier there.
Sure.
I think they'll have an easier time getting into the phrase.
Well, I'll go with beat 3 of measure 5.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll do it again.
That's a good start. Let me try it, okay? Here we go. Sing bass for me since I'm the bass. Here we go. Blanco and one and. Probably too much. So what? Yeah, let's err on the side. Let's err on the side of romantic spirit, right? You know, I'm telling you, our very best high school teachers in the state, brilliant people, conduct this piece like this. I heard it just on Wednesday, where they go one and so we're Blago, one and And it's beautiful how they do it. They do it very light and it's soft and there's no Russian soul to it. I mean, right? Where's the vodka? I mean, there has to be something here. Dead.
I'm dead.
So
The Russians, the average lifespan of the Russian is over the last 20 years has fallen quite a bit. I mean, a lot of people are dying of old age in their late 40s. Some of that has to do with drinking. So I'm not encouraging vodka on this, but I'm saying there needs to be, right?
Yeah.
We're so American on this piece.
You gotta conduct it like you're drunk and you kind of forgot what's going on.
Yeah. And then like, well, what's the next beat? And then it's, yeah. Okay, do it.
I just fall asleep.
Search your soul, darling, for too much. There's so much excess in Russian history and culture and passion, right?
Okay.
It's not the French here.
Wow.
Yeah. So now that's just one idea. And I like it. It might not be even the perfect idea, right? Because part of what a conductor does on a piece like this is they explore, right? They're trying, and then there's always some obnoxious student that goes,
Last time when we sang this, you sped up there and this time we slowed down. Which one is it gonna be?
you know, you're like, why are you doing this? You know, you said, well, you can tell, so I don't have to, right? You can tell from my conducting. So what are we talking about, right? And that's some people have no spirit, right? They want everything wrapped up neatly and without any mystery or ambiguity. But what could be more mysterious than the Ave Maria? What could be more mysterious than the Orthodox Church? What could be more mysterious than Russian culture and history, right? I mean, traumatic and dynamic and confusing and violent and passionate and beautiful. I remember during the Cold War in which we were terrified of the Russians, right? And then their ice skaters would come to the Olympics and we would go, how can this be, right? Any American with any soul at all would watch that and go, okay, so they're not evil. So what's going on, right? You know what I mean? I mean, how could anyone dance like that? How could anyone, and the same thing with the ballet, right? I mean, we more often saw the ice skating than the ballet, but it was the same thing. It was the ballet tradition that brought that out. I mean, this is tremendous culture, right? So next time you conduct, you're going to study this piece for your point of view, right? And then you're going to share that point of view, and you're going to find out some of them aren't good ideas, and then you would change those. And some of them we'll be inspired by. I mean, we get inspired by phrases, right? All right, good. Who's next?
I can see Jeremy.
One cloud.
We're passing him, okay? He snoozes, he loses.
I think that's literal. That's literal.
I think that's all today.
Can I see it?
That's right.
Okay.
They say you have to show up.
I was really saddened because I did this great story
starts at 8, and then it disappeared overnight. So I
Okay.
had to like rush and do everything this morning.
I know how you feel. I couldn't find anybody this morning. I didn't know you were.
Come
I
on.
was prepared on Monday.
You
not
want
on
to
Friday.
sing bass?
I'll help you. I'll set down.
Oh, tenor.
I know these songs pretty well, but I don't memorize, so I'm always making up words.
So let's go back to the top of page 2. Just real quick, measure 14. I do want the women to cut off on 4 and then the men to cut off on 1, so that carried over. And so let's go ahead and start at 12, B3 to go into that real quick.
Have a seat really quick. I want to talk to you about the romantic phrase. Stay right there, Kelsey. All right, so here's why it's so complicated and so hard. Because we're talking about several things. First of all, we're talking about text accent, right? And so text accent really, really, really matters. Sing for me right at the beginning. So on volume. All this Nacht and T and go. All this That's just conducting text accent. Most high school directors are good at some text accent. And a lot of times that is the extent of what they are able to do in phrasing in terms of the intellectual, whatever, what their understanding is. Just connect that first phrase, go, all this love, deep and So accents are where? 1, 3, 1, 3, and not 1.
No.
That's super important, right? Because the definition of not an accent is not an accent. Right? So you have to be really careful not to accent there or you've done it wrong. Here we go. Sing it for me. Right, and so the way we show text accent is two things. One is we give a little bit of prep, right? We go, and here's how we don't show accent is two things. One is we either don't show a rebound or we show an unusually high, ictus, right? Yum pum pee pum pa dee tanti, right? So that's super effective. All the conducting textbooks are sure of one thing, which, and by the way, this is one of two reasons why you don't buy a textbook. So they're sure of two things. There's two reasons. One thing, and that is all beats are on the same plane. You have never sung for a conductor that puts all the beats on the same plane, good or bad. But no good conductor does that. That's insane. No, I mean, does Chris Java do that?
No.
No, of course not. I mean, no one does it. First of all, no one would do it because you'd be an idiot. But not a good conductor. It is a musical, okay? There's two reasons. That's one reason is because all the patterns they show are wrong. They're all based on these erroneous ideas of patterns that are incorrect. So the second reason, do you know the second reason you don't buy a textbook? Because they're a freaking ripoff. $200 for.
Okay, can I rant for just a second?
Okay, 7 seconds.
Okay, I have a psychology book. Took it fall term, and they're making me buy the Oregon State new textbook that they just published with a code so I can do the whole thing.
It's criminal.
It's $120.
It's criminal. I won't require it.
I can't share one because we each need a code
I won't require a
to
textbook.
do our homework.
It's a total scam.
I hate it.
I know.
I'm
But
getting
Oregon
red.
State is championing the open source textbook movement,
Okay.
so that's good. So we're not all evil. President Ray has really been great about that, and all the deans have been encouraging people to use open source textbooks.
Not assuming
That,
that's all
but most people don't. Okay. All right. I've been asked to publish textbooks. I won't do it. No, because then I have to push my textbook. First thing I do is make you all buy it, right?
Right. And then you make money from it.
Of course. I mean, the whole thing just is so repulsive. It just makes me want to vomit. Okay, so this is number one. Okay, so go yam pam pee pam pa dee tam pam. Try that. This is level one. Right, so that's really nice. So honestly, you are now conducting as well as basically every high school choir director in the state. I mean, we have some wonderful people, but I'm saying that's the level they do. But it is not a phrase. That's text accent. It does make it musical, so that's nice. And if you don't do text accent, well then you're just evil. So here's another level, and that is dynamics, right? Okay, so you have to do both of these. So how do you do that? You vary the level of the size of the pattern and where it lands. Okay, so let's say that we're gonna make this phrase like, and it wouldn't have to be, but it's real big. It's gonna be hairpin. All right, so it's gonna look like this. And oh yeah, let's sing it. And up. Right, so I did text accent and crescendo decrescendo, okay? By going deeper, you go bigger, right? So those two are kind of related by using more space. But it's not done by this, watch this. And, right, no, it's done by going bigger and more here. This doesn't work. It just makes you sing like you just did, okay? You wanna try that? Right, so now that's a pretty pretty nice phrase. It's really basic, but it is still wrong. It is still wrong. Oh, that is so sad. All this shocking. So the next thing is we have rubato, right? And there has to be a sense of non-metrical, non-beat, okay? So let's explore this one by itself. So do we want to go? I kind of like that. Let me try that. And now notice I did all three things. If you do rubato, it usually plays in perfectly with these two. They're not separate things, but you have to think all three. And sometimes you have to teach all three. Because just by making your arms wave around like this does not mean students will sing, will understand the text accent, right?
Yeah.
So you might talk about them separately even though your gesture doesn't change. Because you're conducting it all. But just but you think of it holistically, the students are going to have to think about it individually, okay? So you want to try it?
Sure.
So this is a pretty typical phrase, I'm speeding up and slowing down, right? I once got in trouble for doing the opposite by Rod Eichenberger. I still think he's wrong. He says rubato speeds up and then slows down. The definition is first you steal and then you give back. I just don't believe that. What do you think, Bryson, having played lots of 19th century music?
Yeah, I've always thought that it's like an you can do the other way also. It's just
Sometimes you can slow down, and it's, I that's why I don't, when I say rubato, I don't say the classic definition. I say it needs to follow the steady beat of the soul of the phrase. And you search the words, and you search the melody, and then there's that crunchy harmony there that didn't start to impact you, that you want to hold it extra long because it's so cool, and right? So I just don't think the whole concept, because if you take this piece, you speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. That is not romantic. That's mechanical.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of romantic. And the great thing about choral music or vocal music is that we have words. And so we have an extra thing to think about in deciding what we want to do. The pianist generally almost always uses the melody with some harmonic, probably, implications, right? Okay? You want to try it? You want to keep going?
Yeah.
Text accent, dynamics, rubato. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to make a rubato choice that feels dumb. But what is not okay is to do it in time. It is incorrect for the most part to just be 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can set a metronome to it, then you're wrong. You know, it's as wrong as singing an F instead of an F sharp. Anyway. think about walking through the forest, right? I mean, only an idiot walks through the forest like this.
Think of blue.
No. This is how you walk through the forest, right? And there's all of this looking around and pausing, and then maybe because we need to get a drink of water or whatever, we just kind of go. When you're in a McDonald's forest, right? You're just like going, oh.
Yeah, isn't it McDonald's done?
Just the McDonald's.
Sorry, it's okay, it's okay. No, I just want
Forest?
McDonald's.
The forest over there. Okay. You understand?
Oh, McDonald's.
So now let's talk really quickly. Now this is a stretch for all of you because I tried to make the Monday people sort of forced into this, but I tried to not be too mean because they had no warning at all that I was going to do this. So now I'm trying to give you some tools on how to work for this. How do you discover this? How do you practice? How do you think we should practice? Yeah.
I think I would go through each kind of step once and then put it together. Maybe two steps and then
First of
steps,
all,
or
your score study should bring this out right away. I mean,
Right.
the first thing I look for in your music is if you're marking text accent. If you're not marking text accent, then that means you're not thinking about it. If you're not thinking about it, then you're now a bad conductor.
and you're on,
Right. You have to do text accent. That is the most basic, elementary level of interpretation. Right. But then I'm looking for if you're thinking about microdynamics, and romantic music as a rule is not overly interpreted by the composer. It's not until the 20th century that composers started thinking they had to tell us everything. They expected you to be musical and make good decisions, but also to show a little bit of Kelsey. Who's Kelsey in the song, right? And of course that's not surprising when you think about the Romantic movement was very autobiographical, right? They were writing autobiographically. They expected this music to be sung autobiographically. And I believe, who was it? It was Shostakovich that said, I don't know if this is true or not, I've been able to find no verification, but the drunk Russian conductor I studied with in Bulgaria claimed it was Shostakovich who said it, and he studied with Shostakovich, was that all great music is autobiographical. And he says, you have to make it you. Where is you? Don't make it beautiful. And he was Russian. So there you go, right? Yeah. And no one did nationalistic romantic music in many ways better than the Russians. So much passion, so much soul, so much desire, right? This is German. They were a little more. Okay? So here's how you practice. You sing the phrase. And you sing it in a way that you think is beautiful. And then you come in and you explore that and see if it works with the choir. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. Who's last? Here we go. And you believe more than this. What are we conducting, Danica?
We collectively are conducting Locus Iste.
Oh, Locus Iste.
Please don't actually conduct along with me. My actual pet peeve.
Maybe my favorite.
That is shushing. I don't know. You can't do it. My worst nightmare anymore. Okay. Sing pretty good.
So Danica did something real simple that is real basic that people don't do, and we should just all do it, and then we'll all be better conductors. Is she doesn't conduct beats that we don't change the notes on, right? And so there's two principles here that we're talking about. One is what Elizabeth Green called melding, and that is you don't give ictai on notes in which ictai don't happen. Okay? But the other principle that is kind of at stake here is that we conduct the rhythm the composer gives us, not the meter. And to a certain extent, this is true of all periods, but it's exceedingly true of 19th and 20th century. That if we go, we don't go locus, so what is the text accent, Danica?
Locus iste.
That's right. So why don't we accent the lo?
We don't.
Why don't we? You didn't. Good job. Why not?
Because it's not the increment.
Because it is the accent of the word.
But it's not where the phrase is going.
That's not where the phrase is going. And so these things interact, right? And so it follows really the second principle there. Not the text accent, it follows the crescendo decrescendo. We don't want to do it this way. Give us a C major and so classic air of the young conductor is they want to conduct text accent, and so they go to contest and they bring their choir up there and they sing it that way. And they go, here we go, and so it's clearly not musical, right? And they're like, well, I was trying to do text accent. And so there's three principles of romantic phrase. Text accent, there is crescendo, decrescendo, there's rubato. But there is another principle that I haven't mentioned yet. And it's the most difficult. You know which one it is, Marissa? And it's the one that almost no one can do. And if you don't do it, it's almost okay. But we should aspire to it.
Phrase.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes that means linking together phrases in a longer phrase. And I spoke about this on Monday when I talked about the antecedent and the consequent phrase, right? That idea that you know in a sentence, if you're going to say, well, first you do your score study, and then you come to conducting. So that's a pretty simple phrase, right? But we could make it more complicated. Well, first you do your score study, but then of course you have to wake up in time, and then you go to conducting. And so that's a different idea. And thinking about how we use sentences is not a bad way to do it, but music is difficult. Because sometimes this phrase might be like this. Here we go, right at the beginning. Read and that's the end, right? And so the question is what is the phrase? Now we're getting to maybe a semicolon. Right? So this might be half the piece, it might be a fourth piece, I don't know, maybe a whole piece. And in it we have,
Yes.
and then we have accent, 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 speed up, down, really down, more down, rush ahead, right?
Are you writing words?
Yeah. You understand? So this is what we aspire to. Almost nobody. I mean, only the true master teachers. But we'll hear people sometimes at like National ACDA when a high school choir does that, and then we're just freaking blown away, right? Because college choirs struggle with this, right? And sometimes professional choirs don't achieve this. This is mastery. But what's the problem here? Are choirs not good enough to sing this?
No,
What's the problem?
we don't teach it.
The conductor is the problem. Students are just going to do, speed up, get louder, slow down, get softer, try to feel over the phrase. I mean, they can all do this. I mean, a children's choir can do this. Problem is the teacher. Can we teach it? Want to play with it? Conduct. You got 1 minute. Make a long phrase.
Okay.
Text accent, speed up, slow down, get louder, get softer, connect the phrases in a longer phrase.
We'll see what happens.
Section, build, making a structure. It does something. So you understand that his breaks are put there to make the phrase. And until you understand why we're not singing, you don't understand the phrase. Okay? We're done. Isn't that exciting?
Oh, yes. It's like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, can you help me leave that?
I feel like the 1, 2, 3 is kind of necessary. Just that
Yeah.
and it's like good, but.
Good. You see, you're teaching. You're in charge of the one thing. I'll really appreciate helping on that. I'm always thinking about other things and I fail.
Use a 1, 2, and
1, 2, 3.
yeah, on
4.
4.
You know, we're putting it on 4, which
Yeah.
suggests the clap is
Accident. So clap accent.
You can turn it in.
Clap accent on 4.